Welcome to our meetup. My name is Candace Powell-Kynard, owner and senior consultant with EduDreamer Consulting, and today our topic is scholarships, the frequently asked questions. So let me tell you, this is the most intricate issue in the college-going process. The financial aid and paying for college, it's complex, it's case by case, and it's ever-changing. So these are the topics that we're going to discuss today. So the first best way to start is, what exactly is a scholarship? So a scholarship is a sum of money awarded to help a student further their education. So it helps pay for college. It does not have to be paid back, and it does become a part of the overall funding strategy for paying for college. So it would be great if a student had one giant scholarship, but that's not realistic for most students. So what are those other resources that you can use to pay for college? So of course, we're going to talk about scholarships, but the institution or the college or university, they also have aid. The federal government through federal student aid also has financial aid. The state in which you live, loans, payment plans, which often can be monthly, and then your own personal savings or 529 plans, and also trusts that are usually in the student's name. So now we have an idea of what scholarships are, but what exactly are you paying for? And it's good to know what you're paying for, because that's how you set your goal for scholarships. So now we're talking about the cost of attendance, or what we like to also call in a nickname, the sticker price. Often you see a sticker price in a car dealership, but this is the sticker price of a college that you usually find on their website. The tuition is for classes. The fees can be small or large and cover health center fees or computer lab fees. Room is obviously your dorm room, and board are the fees that are associated with living on campus, mostly your meals. Books and supplies, that's pretty self-explanatory, but supplies can differ based on your major. Art students, engineering students could have different levels of supplies. Transportation is something that often families don't include in their budget. Even if you go locally, there's either bus fare or car gas for the car that you have to pay for. Clothes are obvious, you have to have those, it's legal. Miscellaneous personal expenses cover things like your medication, your glasses, if you wear contacts, but also the items that you'll need on a college campus, like your toothpaste and toothbrush and shampoo. So that is what you're paying for. All right, so the basics around scholarships helps you to understand the different types. So a need-based scholarship is literally that. The student needs the money based on the fact that their income may be lower. So students are applying for need-based scholarships that are evaluated mostly by using the FAFSA application, possibly another calculation by the organization. Merit-based scholarships are because some student has done something meritoriously. So athletic talent or musical ability or a very competitive GPA or set of standardized test scores. Now, renewable versus one time is a good distinction to know. Renewable scholarships are really important to get because you can receive the scholarship each year that you're in college. So they're thereby renewing the scholarships. A one-time scholarship is only given that one time. It's only awarded to the student one time. So renewable scholarships are very desirable. Colleges and universities give scholarships. Obviously, the state that you live in also gives a scholarship. Community organizations like Elks Club, the Rotary Club, fraternities and sororities, civic organizations, faith-based organizations, churches, workplace is really a good place to look, and people tend to forget about their own employer. So the student, if they have had a job, even fast food type places, retail places in the mall, they give scholarships. And then students, parents should check in with the Human Resources Office of their employer to find out if there are scholarships for employees' children. And then, of course, corporations and financial institutions like credit unions give scholarships. All right, so now we have the basics. So how does the whole thing work? Well, you do the research, you find out if you're eligible, you apply, and then repeat. Research, eligible, apply, repeat. Now, the scholarship organizations then notify you when you are going to be awarded, but then how do you get the money? So you're getting the money. Most of the time, the organization is going to send the money to the college, but there are some scholarship organizations that will send a check right to the student. Now, colleges also have a variety of policies on how they treat scholarships. So first, there are merit-based scholarships that colleges have that are based on them discounting the price for a student coming in. Sometimes those are competitive. They're looking at strong SAT scores and or standardized test scores and GPA. Sometimes they're not, maybe other characteristics that they're using. Now, the policies of outside scholarships also vary, and the issue is that colleges cannot over-award past the cost of attendance. So they can't look as though they're giving you more than it costs to go there. So schools will often make decisions to also leverage their own funds. They may reduce an award if you bring in outside scholarships. Now, what they reduce is the issue. Schools might reduce a scholarship or a grant that they gave you their own institutional funds if you bring in outside scholarships. What's better, however, is if they reduce the loans that are in your financial aid package when you bring in outside scholarships. So that's a better scenario. And then, of course, you've got to follow those requirements, particularly with renewable scholarships. Now, starting early is the key. Late applications, not knowing deadlines, those things do not help you get money. And so surprisingly, you can start as early as elementary school. So yes, there are funds to go to college for students under the age 13. You can literally Google that phrase, scholarships for students under 13. So starting now at whatever point you're in is a good thing. You want to start now. Even if you're a high school senior, you want to start this process now because you benefit from a larger number of scholarships if you start early. The seasons of scholarships, we call them like the big scholarship seasons. The fall is definitely a big time to apply for scholarships, but the spring is also another time to apply for scholarships. And so February through April is a heavy time for scholarship applications. So a couple of tips and a little advice around searching and researching. So the benefit right now is that scholarship searching is all online. You're not really having to use a lot of books anymore. National scholarships are very popular, but thousands and thousands and thousands of students are applying for the same scholarships, and sometimes those national scholarships are only giving a couple and sometimes one. So those are great to try, but local scholarships may be a little bit more beneficial to a student. Local scholarships, you're going to have a lot less competition, fewer applications, and those characteristics might actually be closer to what the student can be eligible for. Scholarship search engines are sort of questionable. So there are a lot of them. Some are better than others. The problem, though, is that some of those search engines aren't really benefiting the student. They're more so gathering the student's information so that they can market things to you. Doesn't necessarily make them a scam, although some of them are. It does make it frustrating for the student because it may not just be a good use of your time. Sweepstakes, same thing. Sweepstakes are no essay required. Just give us your name and email address, and the next thing you know, you'll be entered into this sweepstakes. Well, thousands and thousands of students are putting their name in that hat, and that's not really, some of them actually are scams, but it's not really a good use of your time knowing that, the possibility is very slim. You're better off leaning towards scholarships that really do have requirements and things that they're a little bit more serious and they're beneficial to the student. If you do come across a scam, or if you want to learn more about scams, you can go to the Federal Trade Commission and learn more. Their website actually teaches you more about scholarship scams. So the key to really getting the most money is staying organized. You've got to know yourself, know your numbers, know your GPA, your rank in school. So if there are 250 students in school, where do you lie? Are you 49? Are you number 1? Know your standardized test scores and the rigor of your classes. Are you taking honors? Are you taking AP? These are things that you should know about yourself. So here is a clever little acronym that allows you to remember, what do I gather to pull together for scholarships? You put a folder on your computer and put all these items in it. And I also recommend paper copies of these items, but you want to gather your treats. So what does TREAT stand for? Your transcript, get a student copy. Even though it's not official, you should see what you look like on paper. Get recommendations from people who love you, get the teachers who really love you so that they'll give you a good recommendation. Follow the instructions for how many recommendations you need to have. Essays are a very popular part of scholarship applications. They tend to ask you a prompt or a question that you have to answer. So you may have heard online, oh, you can just reuse your essays. That's true, but you have to follow the instructions and make sure that your essay matches the question, right? So if you write a couple of essays and you have to then write another one, well, just take the paragraphs out from those essays and pull in a new essay together. It's actually a little faster. Your activity resume is an important part of the process. Scholarships, and colleges too for that matter, they want to see what you're doing outside of high school. Don't think that you have to load your resume with 1,000 different activities and extracurricular things that you're involved in. They're not interested in seeing that you're all over the place and, you know, solving world hunger and curing cancer. They want to see what you're passionate about. So even if you are helping your siblings at home, if you have a job, if you are playing in a band or doing some things that are outside of the class, those things are equally as important, even if there are fewer of them. Test scores are just a part of the process. Your standardized test scores, SAT or ACT, could be requested by a scholarship organization. Now, here's the really great part. There are 3 really unique tips that I want to share with you. The first one is to get the program from an award ceremony that happened in a past year at your high school, or maybe even in the local community. But your high school has award ceremonies where inside the program, they're listing not only the student's name, but the name of the scholarship they received and sometimes the dollar amount. This way, you'll know what scholarships are available. You'll have the names. You can make a note of that and then do some research as to how you get that scholarship. The second thing is to use social media. Parents are not fond of how much time our young people are spending on social media, but the reality is it's a great place to connect and do some searching on scholarships. Follow scholarship organizations. They're all in the different social media platforms. And then this is a really popular idea, but not known to everyone. Use the Google method. Google has changed its algorithm, and they really have improved how closely you can really get to a scholarship. And so put in the word scholarship, put in your school type, and then also put in the characteristic of your choice. So maybe it's your major, maybe it's your ethnicity. You can also put in your gender. So in the example we see, we put in the word scholarship, put in the words high school and science major, and you will find a list of scholarships right on the first page of the Google search mechanism. So you can change that characteristic just to meet anything that you'd like and find scholarships. It works really well. So what should you be doing right now? Discuss with your family about the whole issue of paying for college. Everybody should be on the same page. You absolutely need to complete the FAFSA application. It's the free application for federal student aid. If you are currently a high school senior or a college student going to college in the next coming fall, you'll want to do the FAFSA application. You got to get organized. You should definitely contact the colleges of your choice. Schedule some time regularly to research and apply for scholarships. Apply widely, research widely, and then go get that money. Just think of it this way: get multiple scholarships so that you can take multiple scholarships to college with you. Believe that you can actually do it and have a positive approach. You'll do great. So I hope that this was particularly helpful for you. We really appreciate that you joined us today. We will have a Q&A coming up next. Again, my name is Candace Powell-Keinert, and I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation and learned a lot from it. Thank you.